Please forgive me. I had a bit of church today, so I'm running late. Forgive me, but thank you so much for joining and welcome. So this is Prime TV. If you're new here, thank you and welcome. I appreciate everyone who's always joining me. So this is where I get to at least vent my mind before people will be calling me APC woman leader. And I'm not gonna let me rest it APC woman leader. So I just thought to, from time to time, have a live here to just talk about things that bother me, express myself more, at least where I can have an opinion, because on the radio platform, I am unable to have an opinion. So, one of the most shocking news that came to me today was the fact that this administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is set to tax Nigerians even more. So that thing that he did say during the campaign or during his campaign in 2023, that a lot of Nigerians were thinking that perhaps it was a slip of tongue or something, may not actually be a slip, because right now there is an actual plan by federal government to widen the tax net, to widen the tax net and to bring in more people into paying taxes. And it's very shocking and surprising, especially to a lot of Nigerians, because this is a time where Nigerians are going through. Okay. Okay. All right. Apologies for the network issues. So, yes, I did tell you yesterday, say Yahaya Bello carry federal government, EFCC go courts, the Supreme Court, that why are they deemed wanted? They must stop to declare him wanted. But now, the EFCC has just responded by slamming 16 more counts. Oga, come and explain how you ate some kind of money that you ate. And the money we're talking about is so much money. As a matter of fact, that he bought houses in Dubai, in Abuja, through so many other money that was collected through his administration fraudulently, as it were. And that's another matter entirely that we'll also be talking about. But let's go also to what Goodluck Jonathan said concerning Emir Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi. So you'd recall that if you were in Nigeria, sometime during Jonathan's administration from 2012 downward, there was almost what looks like a smear campaign against Jonathan. That's what some people call it, because looking at that situation now, some people thought or think, or maybe still think, that it was a deliberate attempt to bring down Jonathan's administration. So Jonathan has now responded to that, saying that, remember that the CBN president then, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi then, had said that there was a missing about 50 billion naira in the treasury, $50 million. $50 billion, I beg your pardon. How can I be insulting the money? About $50 billion missing. But Jonathan has now responded in presence of Sanusi Lamido Sanusi that 50 billion naira was never missing in his administration. Interestingly, Jonathan responded when both together to launch a book that Sanusi's contribution in the book alleged that in that contribution that he was sacked as a CBN governor because he revealed or exposed that there was a missing about 49.8 billion naira from the treasury, from the federation account. And then Jonathan has now responded to it and say, excuse me, how can a whole 50 billion naira disappear? Salaries were not owed. People were paid salaries. Things were still going okay and all that. That never happened under his administration. But the interesting thing about this conversation is that you would have thought, since Sanusi gave them flesh and blood, he's supposed to respond to say, oh guys, excuse me, I put it to you that money was missing. But guess what? When Sanusi had time to talk about it, he never really responded to it. You know what he rather said? He was like, well, he was sacked. Okay, so let's go straight to that tax issue. As the Nigerian government has announced a plan to tax more Nigerians and businesses, even though the economic hardship is thriving, it's rife, as people would say. So the plan is part of government economic stabilization bills approved by the Federal Executive Council meeting. This has already been approved since Monday during the Federal Executive Council meeting. Now, the chairman of the Presidential Committee of Fiscal Policy Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, disclosed this in a statement, and of course he talked about it on Twitter. According to him, he said the initiative termed tax identification, consolidation, and collaboration will help increase Nigeria's tax base and widen revenue. So that thing that the president said, widen the tax nets, maybe that statement is now coming to fruition, because indeed the tax net is going to be widened even more. But the question still remains, how do you even widen people that are hungry? that are suffering. Okay, now that you're talking about taxes, how about other measures where people who are untaxable can live, earn an honest living? Wetin government don do so far to create jobs to ensure say those wey be say they never dey pay tax or they no fit pay tax because of say they no get job wey you go tax them from or no get businesses wey you go tax them from, wetin government don do to provide them jobs? The last time I checked, is it not the duty of government to ensure that you put jobs or make jobs available for your people? So why does it look like the administration is always looking at more ways to tax people the more, or strangulate Nigerians as it were? Because that's the way some Nigerians are already interpreting it. I didn't say this, that's what Nigerians are saying. Instead of looking for ways to cushion the effect of your policies, people already think, say, policies, now what you be say if you do them small, you go watch the effect. Then you go look for ways where you say go use counter the effect of those policies. Then before you push in another policy. But since this administration coming, there is barely anything you can lay your fingers on that is what the administration has done or is doing to ensure improvement of jobs or job creation in the country. Excuse me. Because more people are losing their jobs. Oh, if Nigerian Bureau of Statistics can come out to say that under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, more Nigerians have lost their jobs. There is unemployment, I mean no employment worse in this administration than it can. Excuse me. If this statement can be made by a national body, National Bureau or Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, then they can imagine the true situation in this country. So people thought that apart from all these policies that we've implemented that perhaps is strangulating Nigerians and suffering them and that they are choking and not even able to breathe, for other policies, first of all, calm down and cushion the effect of these policies before you create more policies. From the beginning and day one, you remove fuel subsidy. Till now, people have not survived the shock of fuel subsidy because every day since that fuel subsidy removal on 29th of May 2023, fuel price is still ongoing. As a matter of fact, I didn't even tell you, House of Rep has now finally told Aliko Dangote, Oga, talk the amount where they say your fuel. Shebi you talk say you know increase, or you talk amount where they say your fuel, because it's looking like there is a price war game going on between NNPC and Dangote. Dangote will say one thing, NNPC will say another thing, Dangote will say another thing, NNPC will say another thing. So NNPC has now, the federal government or the House of Rep don't finally tell Dangote, oh yeah, Oga, tell us now from your own mouth, how much are you selling your fuel? Well, I ask again, why is it difficult for a Dangote to actually tell Nigerians how much he's selling his fuel? Why is he playing hide and seek? First, he did mention that, oh, it's the federal government that will determine it through, so it's not the federal government. Then from federal government, NNPC, and then they tell us price back and forth. NNPC told us a price. Dangote said that, no, the price that NNPC is telling us is not true. Not be true. Why you they lie? They tell us the true price. Why is it difficult for Dangote to tell us the true price? So that is to say that it just looks like whatever game that is going on between the Dangote fuel price and NNPC, perhaps it be like saying a government hand 90 inside somehow, because that's the interpretation and coloration that it's taking. Because why it be say it go hard for a single business owner to talk about the price of in product? First of all, you get this not be the first business where you get for Nigeria. You get cement factory, they do sugar, they do salt, they do other things. Now government fix the prices of those things for you. Why is it hard for you to tell Nigerians, say, based on this amount where it cost me to use produce this petrol, to use refine this petrol, based on the amount, I'm a bit too old. Do you think I'm really a young girl before? Please don't blow my mind. Okay, so government, yeah, you just made me lose my track of thoughts there, So based on the amount that it cost me to produce this is the amount I want to sell, because only you know the amount where NNPC they give you oil in Naira. The federal government has ordered NNPC to give you oil in Naira. So now you know exactly the amount NNPC they give you this oil in Naira, and now you know how much it costs you to produce a liter of petrol based when you don't make your calculation. So why can't you also come out and tell us exactly how much it will cost you? And when you don't come out your profit, how much it will cost you to sell a liter of crude oil? Why the gambling? Why the back and forth and gimmicks and all that in it? Because it's actually a big problem. What I do hope now that the House of Rep has demanded that he should tell us the price of his fuel, and I hope that Dangote will do the right thing. By the way, if this is your first time of joining us, please kindly subscribe. Please subscribe, recommend this page to someone else. So this is where I just get to my views a little bit, since I don't have the right to say that on radio because of your so-called NBC codes and policies and all that. So I thought to do this very quickly. So back to the gist. Yeah, the federal government has eventually opened up or owned up that they are widening the tax net, so they're bringing in more Nigerians to pay taxes. And I did mention that amongst all the policies that the president has implemented since he took over office, what have the government actually done to ensure that to the suffering of Nigerians? You removed fuel subsidy. You said we're going to float CNG buses and all of those. How many of those buses have you floated? How many of them are functional? How easy has it been for Nigerians to access transportation? Because so far now, one of the major reasons why foodstuff is very expensive is because of cost of transportation, especially within the south. Because they will tell you, say, the amount they go use transport them from the north come to the south, they're very expensive. And because they're very expensive, transportation, because of fuel price, of course, it go tell on the price of the product. So what thing you they do about them? Of course, you increase electricity tariff. So much so that people are gradually being, transferred from band B to band A. In fact, people don't they protest, say they don't want the band A again. Those where they band A say come out us, we don't want to do again. Those where they put back for band B say no, we don't want from band B to A, say they don't want again. And what are you doing to address those? Because it's not like the production of energy, there's an extra energy production in the country. Now still the less than 5,000 megawatts we get now with the battle with, and then you're just taxing more people for using electricity, thereby suffering those who are using electricity less. Then what does that mean? Has that worked in any way? Usually policies work in such a way that you test your policies gradually, and then you cushion the effect of those policies, you test them again, you cushion the effect, so that you don't put in so much on the people, a bit much than they can bear. And that's exactly what it looks like that is happening right now in the country, because it looks like people are taking in so much, or the government is feeding people, giving people so much pressure, and there is nothing or less to cushion the effects of this pressure that government is putting on people. Because apart from the band A electricity tariff, remember that there are also other policies. Of course, the floating of Naira is one of them. Dollar is about 1,700 Naira now. That is a major problem, especially as a country that is import dependent, to the extent that you want sew cloth, your tailor go tell you say the cloth wey you dey sew 100 Naira before, now 200 Naira now. You ask am why, you go say dollar don't go up for in hand, and then you go on buy vegetable farm, see where they sell am, they say, oh, dollar don't go up, and you can imagine whether now dollar you use plant the ugu, so how come dollar is going to affect the price of ugu where you dey sell? And these are factors. But then if you look at it again, because most of the things that this ugu seller would consume or would need, most of them are imported. And because of the imports, the floating of Naira and the dollar rates, those things, the ugu seller will have to buy them higher. So if the person go buy those things higher, the normal thing what the person go do now to increase the prices of your own goods, so that when they sell those things off, you go get enough money to buy those things where you really need. It's just as simple as that. And this, of course, they tell on the level of inflation where we get now. For 2 consecutive months now, government don't tell us inflation don't come down. But with all the inflation, when they tell us it don't come down, we need to see the effect. Nigerians can't feel the impact of the inflation that is coming down. Instead, the actual or the actuality or reality for the market now say prices of things, they actually go higher. Prices of things are actually going higher. So if prices of things are going higher, then where government can't get this one when they tell us say inflation they reduce from? Because if inflation is reducing, you should actually see it. Or maybe that just because that 0.00 something percent, so it never reach the level where it be say you go fit really show for the prices of goods and services. And we're waiting for when it to get to that level so that we'll see. But shouldn't government actually wait till that time before they begin to implement more policies that will strangulate people? By the way, remember that the same federal government is about to increase VAT from 7.5% to 10%. That again is another issue, because by the time person when they pay VAT go pay, or when they produce something, or when they sell render service, go begin pay VAT from 7.5% to 10%. That 2.5. Right, so apologies, please. Network issue there. Apologies. So one would actually, should the government not actually look at most of these things and how their policies would affect people before going ahead to implement or put in more policies that will further strangulate and cause pain to people? That's exactly what we're talking about. By the way, if you're just joining us for the first time, it's a very session. You can call in to chime in your thoughts and reactions. I really would love to hear from you what you think about all these things that we're talking about. We looked at the accusation by the EFCC slamming 16-count charge on Yahya Bello for using plenty of money to buy houses in Dubai, that is United Arab Emirates, and Abuja. So apart from saying don't carry them go Supreme Court, say why they declare unwanted. And then we're also looking at Sanusi Lamido Sanusi not reacting or responding to Jonathan telling him that no money was missing in his administration. If you recall, one of the strongest campaign against Jonathan's administration then, that period that he was having, APC was new, and I say, oh, Sanusi come and come talk, say about $50 billion disappear from government. $50 billion. Now Jonathan is saying no $50 billion lost anything. We pursue you from the Usaki as CBN governor because of some things wey CBN they do where the government no find good enough, some policies wey they implement wey no dey good enough. Say na wetin make we sack you, no be because of say money loss. Then Sanusi had right to react in that same event that they were together. Sanusi did not speak on that. He did not speak to that conversation. Rather, he said, but somehow, shall you still pursue me for your government? No, could just leave him like that. So, then what happened to the accusation? Why did you not address the accusation that it's actually a lie that 49.8 billion dollars disappeared from Jonathan's administration? Because till today, that's why some APC members call Jonathan's administration the most corrupt administration in Nigeria. So why did Sanusi not tell to that? By the way, you can call us up 0817-029-4077 on WhatsApp alone. For here, don't worry, I'm not going to tell you to make it off your mic, honorable. Your mic is always on here. So just call us quickly on WhatsApp alone just to chime in on the conversation if you want to quickly drop a thought or two. 0817-029-4077 is the number to call. 0817-029-4077. So Sanusi Lamido Sanusi in that event today did not react to what Jonathan said, telling him directly that no money got missing. That if a whole $50 billion got missing in fact, at that time, Jonathan's budget was about $31 billion. So he said, how can $51 billion? So if that kind of money disappeared, apologies, if that kind of money disappeared, we were still paying salaries. We never owed anybody salary. We were still paying, we cleared all our debts. We ran the government without. So how come that money disappeared? I was expecting Emir Sanusi to react to that, but he's yet to react to that conversation. Rather, he just talked about Jonathan sacking him anyway. That. So we're also looking at government saying that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu saying that they're increasing the tax net, so they're bringing in more people to the tax net, or they're widening the tax net. You recall that last week or so, maybe 2 weeks ago, thereabout, presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, had lambasted him and said when that rumor about 10% VAT, broke out, and they, lambasted him and said that Atiku Abubakar reacted and said that it's a very wrong time to implement more taxes on Nigerians or effect more taxes on Nigerians, especially when Nigerians can barely eat and all that. And then, of course, trust the APC administration to respond to Nigerians or respond to Atiku. But at the end of the day now, it's now been revealed this administration is keen towards taxing Nigerians even the more. So then what is it? Then what have you really done? How about checking at things to do to ensure that you put food on the table of Nigerians? What are you doing to ensure you create more jobs? You give Nigerians soccer, you give them 0817-029-4077. That's the number to call. 0817-029-4077. Few of your reactions before I run along to radio with Barrister Darlington. Ike Chukumbase Precious, he says, may God bless you for giving out, for telling out the truth. Thank you, I appreciate you. And I think Gamaya says, you are a bit old. Okay. Was I supposed to be young forever? For over 20 years. Okay, Cynthia Amorgere says, good evening, Precious. Well done. I appreciate you, Cynthia. Altar of Worship says, that's how he ruled Lagos when yeah. You guys, let me just be keeping quiet. Emeka then says, hi from Chicago. Emeka, hi. Lord Lucan says, APC woman's leader Tulumbu had Tulumbu had told you right from the beginning that he would widen the tax net, so he's only implementing what he's up to, or what he's got up his sleeves. It's up to Nigerians. This is a egregious attack on your platform, Precious. I don't know why is this network thing going up and down like this now. Your camera is not bright. Yeah, I'll work on it. I promise you, I'm gonna work on it. I'm going to work on it. I'm putting some things together, but this is just, all these are just test runs. I put some things together to ensure that I straighten, I promise you. Okay. So yeah, these are a few things I thought we should just sleep on the side of the president. But at the end of the day now, it's looking like it's not actually a sleep after all. It's actually what he intends to do. Because if truly you can see that Nigerians are barely surviving, are just managing to eat, are just managing to survive, and you think that this is the best time to implement policies that would ensure they pay more tax, then exactly what are we talking about? That means indeed it is true that looking back to Sanusi Lamido's Sanusi issue, that means it really looked like what people said then, that it was indeed an attack and a connivance from APC members and Northerners against Jonathan. Because if is yet to react to Jonathan telling him, Sanusi did not respond to it. He just said, you remove me from office anyway. So that means that, could it be that it was mostly political, or that statement was deliberately made to truly it looked like it was a subtle attack from some high and mighties on Jonathan's administration at that time? Well, unfortunately, it was a bit too late for him to understand it. I think that now that he's out of office, he could understand better now, and now he knows exactly what he did. I appreciate you. I thank you guys for joining my live. Kindly subscribe. Please subscribe. And of course, drop your comments. I'd love to share your thoughts and reactions. I love you guys. And of course, let me go and continue my APC Woman Leader work on radio with Barrister Darlington, where I'll be turning off your microphone. I love you. And I hope you understand when I turn off those mics. It's not because I love to turn them off, but because you just can't use the radio platform, because it's a terrestrial medium. You can't use that platform to say some things, because if you do, the station will be shut down. And if the station shuts down, you will just move on to another platform. But then the owner of the business suffers. So it's important that we just, cool our temper and speak responsibly. I love you guys. My name is Precious. Kindly subscribe, and of course recommend this page to someone else to subscribe. And we're working on a few things, and I'll let you in on those later on. I love you. Good night, and see you on the other side.